I saw Powder's tweet here. Powder freaking said, what they say, I want to foster an inclusive community. What they actually mean, I want to foster an inclusive community minus white people. And yeah, we already knew that was the case. Literally everything I've been reading from Bridge, they have just stated in plain text. Yes, diversity means less white people. Yes, inclusivity means exclusivity to certain people. We know this is what they meant. We know it, but it's always wonderful when they write it in plain text for the normies to catch up to speed. Yeah. Powder seems kind of based. Yeah. And then, this guy here, Captain No Fun is G. He said, those white people did another mass shooting. Brother, I don't think you want to start quoting crime statistics claiming that white people are the most violent. I don't think that's a battle you want to get into. And she responded, we know what kind of people you won't be selecting for your Offkai commentary talents. 4 days ago, this guy tweeted out, I'm excited to announce that I will be working with Offkai Expo as their commentary lead and will be responsible for the selection and coordination for all commentary talent for our 2025 show. It's a privilege to be working this role, and I thank the team for trusting me. And she has this other screenshot of him saying, white people kill more people than any other group, especially white men. If you want the US to be safe, then ship out white men. I mean, if we're gonna start deporting people based on crime statistics, like, he said it, not me, you know? Like, another one that can't understand per capita. Someone bring out the large white woman's ass. Don't you love when the villain starts monologuing? I love when the villain starts monologuing. Monologuing, by the way. I can't speak. Per capita's too hard. No Foxu lady at Offkai. Last year I spoke to Lysander, who is like the Offkai coordinator guy, and was told essentially I make people feel unsafe. And they showed my posts. Let me bring it up because there's a lot of people who weren't here during the Offkai issue last year. They said I wasn't going to be there in person, by the way. The director, yeah, the Lysander's the director. I wasn't going to be there in person. I'm a VTuber. I was going to be on a screen, right? I was going to be on a screen, and it was an adult voice acting panel. I was going to be doing like, you know, right? Like I wasn't even political. I wasn't going to just like, you know, in the middle of moaning, just to start asking about the Jewish question, right? Like I'm not bringing politics to a VTuber convention because that would be a fucking weird thing to do. That would be fucking strange. Moans are political now. Smedge! Exactly. So when I inquired, like, hey, why am I not allowed to be a guest on panels? And what is it about me that makes people feel unsafe? And I was given these tweets. One is me replying to Sam Hyde, saying, Sam winning a women's weightlifting competition when? The second screenshot, which I had to provide context to Lysander, was me responding to someone who was legitimately asking what the long acronym for LGBTQ meant. And I responded, in the US, we have LGBTQIP2SAA, lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer, questioning, intersex, pansexual, two-spirit, asexual, and ally. But in Canada, they have 2SLGBTQI+, and the plus is people who identify as part of sexual and gender diverse communities. Hope this helps. And I put upside down smiley faces because that seems kind of silly that we have two different really long acronyms to describe the same thing. Which that is silly. And another one is me posting a video with Tim Pool and being against DEI. Just in case you're confused, being against racist policies makes you an unsafe person. Just in case you got lost. Got a notice that YouTube added pronouns to their creator profiles. I'm glad that as part Italian, my preferred pronoun of A is available in the initial drop. There's a notice that says stay tuned for the addition of new pronouns as well. I hope I pull an SSR in the gotcha. I am an incredibly dangerous individual, wanted in at least 13 countries. And then, to continue the pronoun theme, after its strange decision to get rid of everyone's discriminator, which is the, like, hashtag with your 4 numbers that were on Discord that we no longer have, Discord seems to be rolling out a pronoun feature for your bio. And my pronouns have been Burger Queen ever since they rolled out that feature. I haven't changed them. I'm very steadfast in my trans identity as the Burger Queen. And then, another screenshot. They didn't say other than pick related. It happened a day after a post I made on pronoun people, infecting some anime wiki. So I imagine just Twitter freaks mass flagging, which might also be why I got the "your account has been reinstated" response so quickly. This was me making a post on people who had edited something in a wiki for some anime thing. I can't even remember at this point, but they had, like, vandalized the page and tried changing definitions of shit on there. And then, obviously, everybody gets upset whenever I say anything positive about Kiwi Farms. You know, if I was smarter, I might just, like, never talk about the website again. There are definitely things I really, really dislike about the website, and every time I speak about it, I make sure to say I dislike those things. But people who hate me don't care about that. They don't care about nuance, they just see thing they dislike, and thus I must also be literally the Hitler devil. Never turn the pronoun shit on Discord. It can be fun. You know, some people put slurs as their pronouns. Please don't do that, because it could get, like, our server in trouble. You know, I've seen some people be very clever with the way they use that. I was like, man, that's funny. That's a shame we have to ask him to change it. Still no explanation about why anyone would feel unsafe over these. It's because it's not that they feel unsafe, it's that they don't like that I don't capitulate to their ideology. And so after I was like, okay, my dude, there's no reason to be participating in cancel culture. It feels really silly that you're trying to claim it's volunteers who don't want me there when you are staff and you can just tell them to work on a different panel. Like, the staff that don't like me don't have to work on my panel, they can work on other panels. And he was like, well, you see, we're still a very small convention, and, like, when we grow larger, maybe we'll be able to, you know, be more inclusive of other people that our volunteers might not want here right now. But while we're small, we can't really do that. We depend on the volunteers. We need them. And I was like, so you expect me to keep my mouth shut and not tell people about how you run your convention and allow you to accrue more money in the mere hope that you will just suddenly decide to let me guest on panels again? Like, you expect me to trust you after what just happened? Ain't no fucking way! You're a retard! And so, unfortunately, you know, last year happened, and also in my discussion with him, I am simultaneously negative IQ and also 1,000 IQ. Because I mixed up a situation last year when I was talking to Lysander. There was a situation with a different convention where the people at the convention were like, hey, can we have Pippa show up? And Fishman was like, everyone in my company comes or no one in my company comes. And they were like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And so everything was fine. And for some reason, I thought this was like Offkai and also the opposite. Where they were just like, we don't want Pippa here, so, like, we're just not gonna let her come. And Fishman was like, we all come or no one comes. And so I mentioned this to Lysander, and he was like, yeah, but the people that didn't want her here no longer work with us. So, like, he confirmed that it happened, even though I was brain damaged and misremembered an entirely different situation. I was like, holy shit, I should really start gambling. This is crazy. No coming at Offkai. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'm gonna come. The non-aware bluff. The best bluff is when you don't even know you're bluffing. Big brained by accident. Yeah, Kirsche successfully falls up. Holy fuck, they fumbled it into your victory. They did. They did. And then, you know, I messed up a bit last year as well. I had somebody at the convention who was just like, hey, I have this information that, like, it shows exactly what happened and with, like, the sabotage and stuff, and I got overly excited and I spoke about shit before I had read it, so I had to apologize to you guys, because, like, I didn't have any kind of smoking gun for, like, the mistreatment of both myself and other VTubers. So I've learned to make sure I read shit before I speak about it, for fucking sure. So, like, the only thing I got from the documents that were given to me in the Discord logs were that it wasn't volunteers that wanted VTubers removed, it was the actual staff at Offkai. And knowing that it's the actual staff at Offkai, it does not surprise me. It does not surprise me that we now have this guy being added to their staff 4 days ago as their commentary lead, responsible for selection and coordination for commentary talent. Considering it's the staff that had an issue with me, staff that had an issue with other VTubers, it is not surprising that they hired this guy. Because the issue is with staff themselves. It's not surprising, that's for sure. Yeah. It does indeed fit the bill. It does. It does. Does that mean Fishman has nothing to do with Offkai anymore? No, they have sponsored the Artist Hall again this year, I'm pretty sure. I am easy to get rid of because I am indie, unfortunately. These guys are absolute morons and only hurting themselves. Well, that's another problem, right? Because, like, most VTubers aren't gonna care. They want the networking, and I don't blame them for it, right? So they're gonna keep going. Most people have the mentality of, like, if I keep my head down and I don't make a fuss about things, I'll still get opportunity, I'll still be able to network, and so I can just hope that this never affects me if I don't say the wrong things, you know? So nothing is gonna change. Nothing is gonna change. After the shit they pulled last year? Yeah. Yep. You aren't any more Kier Mythic? Mythic isn't the same as being part of a company. Mythic is like, I have a guy that I can go to if Twitch bans me and be like, hey, can you help me with this? And he can. It's not someone that, like, directs my content or helps me with content or, like, gets me collabs with other people, right? Like, it's fundamentally different from being in, like, a company. Kirsche banned. This is also something that people keep mixing up. There's a difference between being banned and being blacklisted. I'm blacklisted from appearing as a guest or on panels or having my own panel. I'm not banned from the convention. I can still buy a ticket and I can still go to the convention. I just can't do panels. Which, like, why would I give them money after they did this is a question I would have, right? They don't help, Kier. It's your personal gopher. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a bad way to put it, because, like, I like my Mythic guy. He's a good guy. It's more support Mythic is, right? Yeah. You don't particularly enjoy being behind enemy lines? Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, I saw this, and I took the opportunity to remind people, considering I was told I could not guest at panels at Offkai for pronoun jokes and being against racist policies, we all know what kind of people were on staff, but it's still funny to see. Conventions should be available to all VTubers. Giving your money to people who hate you will ensure nothing ever changes. And again, since there's people here that weren't here last year, I will reiterate, I know I'm friends with people elsewhere. Please do not, like, bother corporate VTubers with any of the, like, Offkai drama, because they can't do anything about it. They can't say anything about it. So just, like, don't bother them. Don't bring up drama in their chats and shit. I have banned people for doing it before. So just please do not go to, like, corporate VTubers and bring up that shit. I would appreciate that. Don't bother any VTubers over this, really. Yeah, it's not their problem. You'd like to see the reason given for the blacklisting by Offkai, because you're sure it's a legit reason and not an insane political reason. The reason was literally, like, I can't be on panels until they get bigger and can afford to say no to the volunteers who wanted me gone. But it wasn't the volunteers, it was the staff, so that was probably just a lie, as I assumed. When is Kirsche gone? It's funny how they discriminate against the demographic that apparently has all the money and power. I don't know, you know? Time flies, man. Offkai sacred VTubers sell the merchandises. Event must be protected. If I don't have Kirsche, I'm not going. Yeah, and it's like, if the staff is the problem, like, volunteering isn't going to change anything. You're giving people who hate you and who hate probably some of the VTubers you like, free labor and free money. What needs to change is, like, the actual staff, or just a new convention for competition needs to be set up. And I have talked to Craig about it before, but, like, I don't know how feasible that would be for, like, just 2 people talking about. The staff or the organizers, they won't change. I know. It's just like, I want things to be politically neutral. And even last year, it was incredibly funny that they were like, oh, your pronoun jokes are a problem. And like other people who were like, Kirsche should have just shut her mouth and dealt with the mistreatment because she's causing drama over this. And then Offkai has panels about identity politics. And I'm like, how do these people who are just like, Kirsche brings politics into the VTubing sphere and Kirsche shouldn't be allowed at Offkai because she has political opinions that she didn't even want to bring to the convention, yet they're okay with the identity politics panels that Offkai allows? I was like, you can't have it both ways, my buddies. Rev and Straub are good people. They are. They really are. They're not beating the allegations. I don't have the right politics. I know. And then, like, oh god, let me scroll down. Where is it? People post this, like, screenshot of Moonshine having brought me to the convention as, like, a weird gotcha. But it's like, bro, Moonshine is my friend. Moonshine wanted to bring me to Offkai in some way to be with my friends and my fans who had already bought tickets and couldn't refund. Because this all happened after the refund window was over. So nobody who would have wanted to pull out of paying for Offkai because they didn't like what Offkai did to me wouldn't have been able to refund their tickets. Yeah, Moonshine had already bought tickets as well. He wouldn't have been able to refund. He wouldn't have been able to do that. Foxu smuggled in. So like people are just like, oh, Kirsche on the trash where she belongs. And it's like, bro, I was with friends. What is it like to not know what having real friends is like? It's like all the people who watch like VTubers and stuff, and they're like, oh, so and so haven't collabed in like 3 months. They must hate each other now. Like they don't understand the concept of like friendship outside of K-Fabe dynamics. It's so weird. They specifically waited until after people couldn't cancel hotel reservations before blacklisting you. You know, just simple, easy tactics, right? Simple, easy tactics. Understand the concept of live. What is friends? With respect to those that say we're supposed to be adults, if you do not match their actions, history proves we don't win every time. Be respectful, but give not 1 inch. And like the biggest weird thing is just like, it's very disorienting when people are like campaigning against, you know, my sponsors and shit and trying to get me dropped. And I complain about it, and they're like, oh, well, if you've done nothing wrong, then there's no reason that emailing your sponsors should worry you, right? And it's like, well, yeah, I'm not exactly worried, but it's still annoying, right? It's still annoying that they have to deal with it. It's still annoying that there's this many people that have this much hatred and time on their hands, right? Like, it's a little weird. And then people are just like, oh, well, if she actually loses a sponsor, if she gets, you know, removed from somewhere like Offkai, she's gonna have a meltdown. She's gonna throw a fit. And it's like, well, yes, if you guys bully people or if you use cancel culture tactics, not just on me, but on anyone to remove them unjustly, like, yes, of course I'm going to say something about it. That's not like having a fucking fit. That's not having a meltdown. That's standing up for something you believe in. I'm not attacking anyone. I'm not trying to, like, get other people removed from the convention. I don't even understand how they're equivocal in any way, shape, or form. She may be on the garbage, but she's our garbage queen. I'm gonna turn into a teddy bear. Classic narcissist prayer. It isn't happening. Okay, it is happening, but only a little. It's happening, but you deserve it. It's happening, and it's a good thing. That's retarded logic. If you keep swatting someone who hasn't done anything wrong, they're still facing potential danger. Yeah. And so it's just like, when people participate in this cancel culture logic, it's completely fine, just even, to push back on them. I have quite literally never campaigned for other content creators to get cut from conventions or to lose their sponsors or anything, because that would be insane for me to do. There just seems to be no reasoning to these people. There isn't. They just hope that enough of them swarm sponsors or swarm conventions and shit to make people they don't like have a harder time. Like, it's all just, like, vile seething. And I'm sure some of them hope for actual violence. There's been people saying, like, they hope I get doxxed, and they hope I kill myself, and they hope that, like, you know, some bad things happen to me. I can't remember exactly the ways they said I should get murdered, but, you know. These people love women. It's called projection. They think I'll spurg out like they would. It's like, it's weird that making fun of people and making content out of people that post about me like 50 times a day is considered seething. Like, yeah, okay, buddy. Yeah, okay. It's just insane. I was reading some more about that guy who canceled his fucking GamerSupps contract over them not dropping me. Again, like, I can admire someone standing up on principle if they weren't a hypocrite because they're an actual bigot and they're racist to white people. So, you know, it kind of defeats their point a little bit. But there were some people, like, so confused they thought it was about, like, other VTubers who aren't even partnered with GamerSupps. I was like, I just spent 3 weeks getting attacked and I get stolen valored. He's homeless now too. There's no way. There's no way. It's a weird hill for him to die on, but at least he's dead. You know, you can't be racist to white people. That is the craziest response, that, like, anytime people post that, the response is just, ha, they think this is a gotcha, but you can't be racist to white people. It's like, what? Do you hear yourself, brother mans? This shit has been both historically and scientifically proven to perpetuate an endless cycle of hatred and violence. There's an entire branch of science that studies it called game theory. This is what's known as tit-for-tat behavior, and it creates a never-ending hatred such as the forever wars we see in the Middle East. Well, it's like, we had that period of time where it's just like, bro, we just want to grill, man. We just want to live and let live. And it's like, no, we're not going to let you live and let live. We want you absolutely crushed into dust. Fuck you, buddy. And when you have one side that continues fighting in a conflict that another side doesn't want anything to do with, the side that doesn't want anything to do with it is going to lose every single time. Well, it's just like, again, if I speak out, right? Like, I'm the bad guy. I'm the one creating drama. I'm the terrible person, even if I was the one who was getting attacked. Like, it's an insane fucking dichotomy. And to spread more information, more than just this guy being bigoted towards white people, being on Offkai staff, I reposted their announcement for the Offkai Cafe, and I did go over this on stream back in January, or maybe it was February. And their Offkai Cafe auditions say, Offkai Maid Cafe is looking for fun, dedicated maids who have a passion for VTubers, anime, manga, idols, and more. No prior experience is required. Our experienced staff will walk maids through the entire process. Requirements: identify or present as female or femme in daily life. Be 18 years of age or older by June 20th. Provide proof of full COVID-19 vaccination and 1 booster. And when I went over this on stream, I found out that California wasn't even requiring healthcare staff to be vaccinated anymore. So you can be like a nurse or a doctor and you're not required to get fucking vaccinated for COVID or boosted. But if you want to be a free labor maid at Offkai, you gotta inject yourself, man. It's current year. Provide your own housing, uniform, transportation, and registration. Participate in person in 1 shift on Saturday and Sunday. And so this is basically just like, please come be free labor for us. Please be fully COVID vaccinated. And if you complete the required amount of hours, we'll reimburse your Offkai ticket. That's what you get. These are some damn choosy beggars. It's truly a Marxist gathering. We won't pay you at all, but come work for us, comrade. You get paid in exposure, a young cosplayer. So I got a live science journal thing here that says useless female organ discovered over a century ago may actually support ovaries, studies find. I think that's kind of funny. Women's science. Target women. I loved that series. I don't know if it's Rete or Rete Ovarii, a poorly understood structure connected to the ovaries, may be much more essential to ovarian function than scientists initially thought. It's like, oh, you know, sorry we didn't care about women's health back then, but, you know, now we're figuring out what all your useless organs do. Wild nature using every part of the body. That is crazy. Congratulations, ladies. You finally get your own appendix. An unsung... Why is my text so small? Beep, beep, beep. An unsung appendage in the female body, which has long been considered useless, may actually be essential for ovary development and fertility, a new mouse study finds. The structure, called the Rete Ovarii, was first discovered in humans over a century ago, but until now it was considered a so-called vestigial structure, not crucial in adult female anatomy, but a leftover from fetal development. Vegetable anatomy structures, or vestiges, are generally thought to have once had a crucial function that was later lost in the course of human evolution. But according to a new study published March 19th in the journal eLife, the Rete Ovarii may actually play an important role in ovarian function, and therefore fertility. The work also showed that the structure has 3 distinct regions and that may respond to hormonal signals. The female reproductive tract is often thought to consist of the vulva, vagina, cervix, uterus, oviduct, and ovaries. The researchers wrote in their paper, "We suggest that the RO be added to this list and investigated as an additional component to the female reproductive function." That's pretty neat. Secret penis. I'm not a secret penis! Although the study is based on mice, the researchers think that it likely applies to people because the structure is also present in a number of other mammal species, including cows, cats, sheep, pigs, dogs, and monkeys. Additionally, humans and mice share similar early sex organ development pathways. So the humans and mice share similar early sex organ development pathways. So the scientists assume that the structure and its developmental cues might be similar in humans. The RO is a horseshoe-shaped network of tubes nestled beneath the ovary, at the site where the blood vessels and nerves enter the organ. However, despite the structure being highly conserved among mammals when it was first found in humans in 1870, scientists deemed it to have no use. When the structure was first discovered in the late 1800s, it was assumed that it had no purpose because scientists couldn't see its function within the body. At the time, scientists also didn't have the same imaging, microscopic, and molecular technologies, or techniques, available today. These enable us to detect changes in blood flow, size changes of internal structures during life, or ability to detect the proteins produced by the Rete Ovarii, and compare these to similar ones produced elsewhere in the body where the function is known. In the new paper, researchers have applied modern methods to grant new insight into the RO. Some of their experiments used live mice so that the researchers could study how the RO develops in the womb. Other tissues analyzed in the study were collected from euthanized animals after death. The study found that the RO contains 3 distinct regions that mature during fetal development and that are maintained during adulthood. These regions include the intra-ovarian rete, IOR, located within the ovary itself, the extra-ovarian rete, EOR, made of convoluted tubules that join up to a bulb at one end, and the connecting rete, CR, a transitional zone between the IOR and the EOR. We are the internet, chat! Women are a series of tubes! Monya. Using mass spectrometry, a technique used to identify and quantify molecules, the researchers discovered that at birth, the EOR contains thousands of proteins within its tubes that its own cells appear to produce. One protein was insulin-like growth factor binding protein 2 and may be involved in ovary function. The protein may modulate the availability and activity of insulin-like growth factors, which are structurally similar to insulin and important for the development of the follicles that carry immature eggs and hormones to the ovary. In other experiments, the researchers watched fluorescent dye move through the EOR, revealing that the fluid within the EOR is propelled toward the ovary. This further suggests that the RO has a role in ovarian function. In another analysis, they found that the cells of the RO expressed, or switched on, genes that code for a variety of hormone receptors, including receptors for the sex hormones estrogen and progesterone. These hormones play important roles in female reproduction and health, helping to orchestrate the menstrual cycle among many other jobs. And this makes me wonder, women can suffer from a condition called PCOS, or polycystic ovarian syndrome. And I wonder if this well, it's not new, they found it in the 1800s, they said, but I wonder if this new information about this Rete Ovarii might play a part in figuring out how to, instead of just manage the symptoms of PCOS, like possibly actually treat it. Well aware of PCOS, that would be wonderful. Yeah, because it's like if this was previously thought to be a useless organ and we don't know much about it, it would be very interesting if this could be something that would help women who suffer from PCOS. PCOS, no, PCOS, like PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Pico de gallo, pico de woman, yo. It appears that the Rete Ovarii may have a role in ovarian homeostasis, maintaining the ovaries and their environment. Similarly, they appear to be able to detect fluid movement in and around the ovaries and their microenvironment. Finally, and most interestingly, is the potential endocrine role that the Rete Ovarii may have. The researchers behind the study suggest that the EOR may act as an antenna to receive signals from the rest of the body, both via hormones and nerves, and then send that information onto the ovary via the proteins it secretes and transports. There's still so much we can't even begin to comprehend about female anatomy, study lead author Dilara N. Barsi, a developmental biologist at the University of Michigan, told Science News. I hope this encourages more investigation and reevaluating what we don't already know about the ovary. The researchers hope to further investigate the function and component structures of the Rete Ovarii, looking into how the EOR actually responds to hormones and whether the proteins it secretes change in responses to changes in the body. The research challenges the traditional view of the RO being considered redundant.
That was a spicy cat raid.
Moomy playing games, thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. We're talking about women and how they're actually just the internet. How are they going to use this to transition people further into their identity in the future? I don't think they can. We're reviewing retard ovaries right now. True and real. This research challenges the traditional view of the RO being considered redundant, proposing instead that it has a secret wealth of functions. Figuring out how the Rete Ovarii works could one day help scientists better understand and treat conditions of the female reproductive system. Hey, yo, I'm like 5,000 IQ. I brought up PCOS before the article did. Hell yeah. The endocrine system plays a key role in gynecological health, Taylor said. A greater understanding of any structures in this region has the potential to open up new therapeutic avenues and opportunities in treating various conditions. I know I'm not like a medical brained person, but I find it fascinating when they're just like, hey, this thing that we thought was useless 100 years ago, turns out it might not be. We have some more information now. They doxed every YouTuber they could find, or they could, in Alyssa's filing in the lawsuit against Smash JT, including perhaps Rev Says Desu. Why? These people have nothing to do with the lawsuit. Here's why. They wanted to dox, they wanted to put the info out in the public, and they wanted the sheen of legitimacy to do it by doing it through a lawsuit filing. Very evil people. Prominent inhabitants of Tarsia's ecosystem include Redacted, Based Redacted, who posts to the YouTube channel Toasty with the Mosty 69, Redacted based content creator Redacted, who posts to the YouTube channel Rev Says Desu, Redacted based gaming influencer Redacted, who posts to the YouTube channel Weirdly Redacted, and Redacted based gaming influencer Redacted, who posts to the YouTube channel 8-Bit Eric. That is actually insane. That is actually insane. Based this, based that. Can they be sued for doxing them? Well, they're doing it in like a legal loophole manner, right? Like these people have nothing to do with Alyssa and Smash JT's lawsuit, but they wanted to just include the dox information because the lawsuit would be public. That is like unironically a huge scumbag thing to do. Huge scumbag thing to do. And it's like, it's really strange how these people will play this weird gambit of like, oh, well, if you've done nothing wrong, you have nothing to worry about if we're sending emails to your sponsors. Oh, if you've done nothing wrong, you have nothing to worry about if we're posting your information online. If there's nothing wrong, then there's nothing to worry about. It's public information. It's public information. I hate that excuse so fucking much. Like, they know why they're posting it. We know why they're posting it. They know that we know that they know why they're posting it. I hate this, like, game of coy tactics. The only reason you're posting people's, like, full names and addresses and phone numbers and emails and shit is because you want harassment to happen to them. You want them to be attacked. You want people to go to their houses and to do crazy things. When you start grandstanding and celebrating victories for people that you hate having harm come to them, That is an insane step to take. Like, how do you celebrate something like that? How do you celebrate wishing physical harm on people? I have to admit, it's how leftist women do it. They always do this passive-aggressive shit. I wouldn't even say it's just leftist women. It's leftists in general, man. Doxers should be charged with endangerment and threats of violence. 100% agree. And like this is one of the things I loop on every time I talk about Kiwi Farms. I think they're an important website based on internet regulations, right? Like I've used them as news sources before because they have like autistic posters that are dedicated to archiving things there. They're decent for getting certain news stories that are hard to find elsewhere, or mainstream news networks want to suppress some of the information. But there are also crazy people on that website that want to just dox and harass normal, innocent people who have done nothing wrong. And that's fucked up. You wish doxing was treated like in Japan, 10 years in prison? Yeah. I just like, I really hate the like, it's public information thing, because one of the largest ways that people end up getting their information leaked is like voter rolls, right? You cannot make those private. And like, even when you're looking up voter roll stuff, it tells you like, hey, this information is to be used for specific purposes only, or you could get in legal trouble. And it's really unfortunate, because the only way to protect yourself would be to give up your ability to vote. And I shouldn't have to give up my right to vote to protect my information from people who wish to do harm to me online. There's states like Florida where you can private your public voter data. I didn't know Florida had that, but that's fucking based if they do. Because it's like, most states like do not let you make that shit public. And it's insane to me. Can you post the info of someone in a lawsuit even if they aren't involved? What the fuck? You're no lawyer, but that seems like it shouldn't be allowed? I agree. It seems like it shouldn't be allowed, but I guess this is a legal loophole kind of thing. A little bit of a legal loophole kind of thing. Mercante's also admitted how dangerous this is. In the first lawsuit, she withheld her own data with that excuse, while including smashed JTs. And these people are just disingenuous as fuck. Like 1,000% disingenuous. And I try to not talk about too much of this stuff, because like, I know it does affect Rev. I know it does affect Straub. I know I've been affected by this shit. And it's like, the less attention you bring to things, the better. It feels like since things are finally starting to get better, a lot of these people who recognize that they're starting to lose power, that people are fed up with them, that they can't just hold people hostage and force them into their ideology, because companies are standing up for people finally. They're standing up for people and they're being like, we're not going to be ideologically intimidated by people screaming. And they realize they're losing this power and they don't like it. Which is why, again, now is the time that we need to stay vigilant. We need to stay paying attention. We need to keep fighting this. We can't just be like, all right, we've won. All right, we've won. We can just let them seethe in the corner. It's like, no. No, this is the time we have to keep applying the pressure. They're lashing out like beasts. Exactly. Exactly. They know their reign is coming to an end. They know that their bully tactics are slowly stopping to work. Haley Joel Osment arrest footage released as actor is charged with cocaine possession, public intoxication. Now, chat, hold on, wait a minute. Cocaine possession. If he's got a business email, I should reach out and ask if he wants to play crime boss with me. Be like, hey, seeing as you've been recently charged with possession of cocaine, I myself am a crime boss with possession of cocaine in a video game. You should come possess cocaine with me. Sora been riding that train. Of course it was coke. Haley Joel Osment was charged with cocaine possession and public intoxication after his arrest in Mammoth Lakes, California on April 8th. Osment, who was a prominent child actor, was charged with 2 misdemeanors, according to a Mono County press release. He's set to be arraigned in the Mammoth Lakes branch of Mono County Superior Court on July 7th. In the arresting body camera footage, Osment could be heard repeatedly saying, "I'm being attacked," as officers place handcuffs on him. When he was asked for his name, he responded, "I'm an American." I thought this was America! I thought this was a free country! Literally being the fucking Randy guy, dude. After officers placed Osment in the police car, resort employees explained that they were concerned about his health because he couldn't take care of himself. They said he had ordered one drink at the bar, but had seemed so drunk he spilled it, so he was cut off, which was when he got aggravated and argumentative. In additional body cam footage taken during the hour-long drive from the resort to the local jail, Osment accused the officer of kidnapping him, calling him a fucking Nazi. You'll wish you treated me nicer. Yes, you will. I was decent to you. He proceeded to call the officer a Jewish slur. How can you be a Jewish slur and a Nazi at the same time? The cocaine is frying his brain. Oh, I can watch the video. Let's watch him say anti-Semitic things.
I've been kidnapped by a
Oh.
You wish you treated me nicer.
Sorry, I was trying to turn off my background music.
Kidnapped by a You wish you treated me nicer.
Wait, that was the longest bleep on the planet. A fucking what? The slur for Jews is a very short slur. What the fuck did he say? What the fuck did he say?
Yes. I was decent to you. You are.
Well, at least he's laughing at himself, you know? The slur he uses is the K one. That's what I thought, but why is the bleep like 7 years long, man? The Sixth Sense star was initially arrested on suspicion of public intoxication and possession of an unidentified controlled substance in the Chair 2 parking lot of the famed California ski resort. In a statement released to People, Osment apologized, saying, "I am absolutely horrified by my behavior. Had I known I used this disgraceful language in the throes of a blackout, I would have spoken up sooner. The past few months of loss and displacement have broken me down to a very low emotional place." Oh, shit, that's right. Didn't he lose his house in the fucking California fires? Oh, dude, that feels bad. That feels fucking bad. Oh, dear. Oh, boy. He's in a bad headspace. I feel like anyone would be in a bad headspace if they lost their fucking house, dude. Can't believe Sora fell to the darkness. Osment's referring to the LA fires in January, during which he lost his home. Oh, well, I would have had my answer in like one sentence. Many such cases. He added, "But that's no excuse for using this disgusting word. From the bottom of my heart, I apologize to absolutely everyone that this hurts. What came out of my mouth was nonsensical garbage. I've let the Jewish community down and it devastates me. I don't ask for anyone's forgiveness, but I promise to atone for my terrible mistake. It's okay. As a Jewish-controlled opposition, I forgive you and also play crime boss with me." This is not Osment's first run-in with the law. Back in 2018, the police were called on Osment after he allegedly had a verbal argument at the McCarran International Airport in Las Vegas. The passenger had to really care. Oh my god. This is the face you make when you're holding in a really big shit and you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it in time. Oh god, what happened to him? Cocaine's a hell of a drug. You want people to take what he said and dub over Kingdom Hearts scenes with it? Oh my god. Oh no. Okay, these are just like backstory. Look, he was cute with long hair. So, after being kicked out of the press conference of his son's killer, Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf, denounced his son's supporters. Bro.
With your
Can I have a conversation with you?
No, because you could have called him before that. You could have called him.
I've been
respect.
reaching out. I'm one of the biggest figures in
So
America.
Jeff,
Nobody's ever
I've given you a
texted me.
message. I've given you your message, and here's the
all
response.
family members, everybody I could
I've
find.
given you your message, and here's the response.
You're not giving my
This
message.
guy
You're
said
giving your message.
What he said.
Why the fuck is this kid carrying around a computer from like 1964? What is going on back here?
What's your issue with the event? What are we doing wrong with this?
He said that you, as a father, should be on the bus with him, delivering the message he's delivering. Unfortunately, he's not a father, and the gentleman with is not a father. Maybe they don't understand what loss is. But at the end of the day, I've given your message.
I do understand what loss is. I want family members.
Let me have 1 minute of my message
Call
to Jeff
him.
Metcalf.
Call him.
Okay, this is bullshit,
He's
bro.
on the phone right now.
This is bullshit. This is not a good faith discussion. You're not going to talk to him, bro.
Hold on. So, Jeff, go ahead. Go ahead. Jake?
Hey, Jeff, it's Jake Lang here. Jeff, first of all, my entire heart rests in your hands. I would be in my position, not even as somebody that knew your son, but somebody that shares the same understanding. I grew up as a 17-year-old young white man too, and I grew up in fear of my life around black people because they were killing and robbing people around me all the time. And I don't understand, as I was a father, you could sit idly by and not condemn the culture that killed your son. There is an epidemic problem in this country, and your voice could be one of the loudest voices in this country, but you've chosen to recoil out of fear and continue the suppression. Why will you not stand with me and with the rest of the people? We're not calling for racial divide. We're not calling for hatred. We're saying 350,000 attacks on white people by black people a year in this country is wrong. Why can't you stand that and say with that? Maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest a beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today.
Are you done?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, my turn to speak. You are part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any fucking...
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk.
Of my son. Let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir. You are creating more Austin Metcalfs
Black
with your
man here,
weakness.
you are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak.
Fucking get called out, retard!
Condemn your son's killer and the culture that caused it.
Hey, Jeff.
That's the problem.
You've been
submitted.
Jeff.
You've been submitted.
I'll handle it from here.
You've been submitted.
Man, like I before I heard exactly how he was responding, I was gonna maybe give the benefit of the doubt, like that was kind of a loaded statement, right? Like I don't disagree, but it's kind of a loaded statement to just like open with that whole thing, right? And it's like this guy in the suit, I don't know who he is. He's not the one who made this about race. This has been a thing. The comments on like Carmelo Anthony's Give, Send, Go have been disgusting, to say the bare minimum. And it's just like, even if you don't want to turn it into a racial thing, it already has been. You can't escape that. And continuing to just want to forgive people for murdering your son is an insane thing to do. There was only one way he could have won, literally just hang up. Pretty much. Your dad would have already gone on national TV. What's so hard to condemn the killer? I don't know. Like watching this whole thing unfold, I feel like I've been taking crazy pills. Because this isn't even like the stereotypical, he was an unarmed black man, he didn't do anything, he was turning his life around. It's not even one of those situations. It's literally the black dude is the murderer in this case, and yet everyone is still lionizing him as both a hero and a victim. And some people have even compared it to like Daniel Penny, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Daniel Penny was apprehending someone threatening to kill passengers. That wasn't a racial thing until everyone was like, oh, white man kills black dude. And it's like, no. They could have been any race. It wouldn't have mattered. It's like, Jesus Christ. It is actually insanity. It is actually insanity. And that father is weak. Absolutely weak. I would feel ashamed if I was like the fucking brother in this instance, dude. Like, we haven't heard from the brother at all, so I have no idea what's going on in his head. But like, if I was in his position, I would just feel ashamed.